Hey everyone, Lewis at Milne Mechanical Repairs. Today we're doing some Jeep brakes and I'll show you through some highlights as we go. Cheers. So what we're going to do now, got it jacked up, going to get my little impact gun, whip off the wheels and then I'll be right back. Got wheels off, all I'm going to do now is come in behind the brake pads and try and gently ease back this piston. Once this piston is back and out of the way, makes it a lot easier to get the caliper off. So now, with this piston push motion working, all we're going to do, caliper carrier bolts, we're just going to knock them off. A bit harder to do with one hand, but it's doable. Then they should most of the time just come out once you've done it a few turns by hand. Same with the bottom one, we'll get that off. And we'll get the caliper off and I'll show you what to do next. So next on the list, got the caliper carrier bolts off. Take this caliper. It's a bit awkward to do one hand. We've then got caliper hanger. We literally just hang it on whatever you can really, just to stop it hanging off the pipe. You don't want it hanging off the hose, okay? So that can damage the hose. What we're going to do now, move the pads. These pads are fairly worn down. As you can see, they're getting fairly thin, a bit hard to tell on the camera. Then what we do is change these discs. I'll show you how to measure the discs and I'll show you how worn they are. So we're back again. What we have here is vernier calipers, and what we're going to do is literally put it over this disc here. Oh, sorry, that's my hand. And then we're going to zoom in. You'll see it says 23, pretty much bang on 23 millimeters. The minimum thickness of these discs is 26 millimeters, so we're well under what we need to be. So what we do is we're going to replace these discs. Another thing to have a look out for is you have caliper carriers. So notice the bottom one, nice and free. Top one, see solid. So we're going to get this carrier off because you've got to take it off anyway. And we're then going to get this unseized, get it cleaned up, and get it moving nice and free again. I'll show you when we've got the disc off. So I've got the caliper carrier bolts here loose, and then what we're going to do is, because this slider's seized, before we take it off, what we're going to do is just put grips around there gently and just work it backwards and forwards, and then just keep going and apply some outward pressure, well, inwards towards the vehicle, and eventually it will come out, and then we'll be able to clean it up and get it going nice and smooth again. So we've now got the carrier off, got the sliders out, and then what we're going to do is just knock this disc off. Probably want a good few smacks. Bit hard to do it one-handed. I'll come back when I got the disc off, but that's pretty much it. Some will have a retaining screw around here, these ones don't, but yeah, I'll be back in 2 seconds. So got the disc off, and what we're going to do now is we're going to clean up this hub face, going to clean up the sliders, get everything nice and ready, and then I'll come back when everything's clean and ready to go back together. Guys, got the new disc on, carrier back on, and what I'm doing now is I've just put a very small amount of grease on the contacting parts of the pad. And what I always use Bosch Superfit brake grease. Don't use copper grease anymore. There's you can get a few problems with brake grease, copper grease, which is it will generally collect a lot more of the dust and become a bit more of a grinding paste opposed to a lubricant. There you go, and just literally one pad in, do the same around the back, and then we can get the caliper back on, get everything nice and tight, and then get the wheel back on. So I'll hit you back up in a minute, guys. Oh, before we get this caliper back on, I forgot to quickly show you. So remember how that slider was nice and solid before? Now it's nice and free. That's what you want. So then the caliper can move nice and freely, because if it's stuck, you can either have your pads stick on or wear unevenly and various other things. So yeah, that's what they need to look like and how they need to move. So there you go, guys. Calipers back on, and I'm going to quickly show you one last thing you definitely need to remember to do before your job is finished. So guys, everything's back together, and the last thing you need to do is make sure you push this foot brake down a good few times. It will just go straight to the floor first couple of times, and then hold it and give it a nice good press, and what that'll do is that push that piston out, because where you've pushed it back in. Because the last thing you want to do is say, yep, got it all back together, you start driving, and then you need to stop and you've got no brakes for a good couple of pumps. I've seen many people fall foul to it and had a little accident. So if you like this video, can you hit the subscribe, like, leave a comment. Thanks guys.